So, what's the label to give me in a wheelchair? Differently enabled? Not really, it doesn't work. But if somebody could come up with a label for someone in a wheelchair who still works, who still is a productive member of society, tell me what that is. I've been searching for it because I don't like the label of disabled or handicapped. I'm in a wheelchair, but I can still do everything for the most part. Adversity, inspiration, yeah, those are things that have happened to me, and that's a label that I carry. And so part of my message is, how do you get people to overcome adversity? What's up?
Do you want your long or your short today?
Long.
Okay. Mr. Short's coming.
Good. What time did y'all finish yesterday in the OR? It was a Sunday, December 30th, 2007, and it was just a weird kind of day. I was dressed, ready to go to church, and I just said, no, I need to go to the farm. And the farm was where I went to kind of get away from things. It's just where I relaxed and would clear my head. And so I just started mowing pasture, riding the tractor. And there was an area that I wanted to clear of some brush. So I started mowing the brush to create an area for a new deer blind. And I saw this dead tree sitting in the middle of the area that I wanted to clear. I said, well, that tree's dead, and I've pushed over 100 trees in my life growing up on a farm. So I went over to push it over, did it the way I've always done it. The problem is that it had an area where the middle of the trunk had rotted up high, and so the top of the tree fell back on me, and the bottom of the tree went forward, and so it fell across my back, and it pinned me between the steering wheel and the seat. I got a compression fracture of my back, but it pinched off the blood vessels that supply blood to my spine. So I basically have a stroke of my spinal cord. One of the physicians at Methodist that happened to be there drive up. He has a farm across the road. And he told me after the fact that he really thought I was going to die. It wasn't my time to die yet.
Well, lucky. We had to drive a little over 100 miles to get down here to you, and I walked right in, and they take me right in.
Where do y'all live?
We live in Moscow.
Yeah.
You know where that is?
Oh, I know where it is. My family, my mom and daddy live in Henderson.
Okay.
So I drive on 59.
Yeah, you ride right through there then.
But I always slow down in Moscow because they got bad highway patrol.
He was out there working this morning.
Was he?
Mm-hmm.
I've been through a lot, and I had to learn that I was inspirational to other people, the fact that I could come back and do what I'm doing. And I really didn't want to be inspirational. I just wanted to be Gene Alford, and I didn't want to be paralyzed. And so you have to get over the fact that you're different, you're paralyzed. So, and I'm inspirational. And I kept telling people, well, look, you would have done the same thing. And in fact, I've had to learn that a lot of people wouldn't have done the same thing. So they always want to know, how did you do this? How did you get where you're doing? So I didn't die, so there's a whole lot left I have to do. It's been figuring out what that is it's been part of my mission. Well, the district judge now in Henderson is a high school classmate of mine. and a really good friend. It's Judge Agassi. I was prepared for this as a young man by my father, who taught me. He said, you can never quit. You can fail, and it's okay to fail, but only if you've given it your best shot. So once you've done your best, you still fail, that's no problem. So okay, I'm giving it my best. Sort of like playing football. You just gut your way through it and do it. And you physically and mentally overcome the parts that don't work. The harder part was figuring out the person that's Gene Alford, the person that no longer can look people in the eye, the person that is now disabled and different. Are patients going to still come to see me? Would I go to a doctor in a wheelchair? I don't know. Maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't. So I started out doing little surgeries and realized I can still do all those things. Oh, wait. Good, are you? The Houston Methodist Hospital is a pretty special place. I love being here because my peers hold me to a standard, make me a better physician, and the hospital supplies me with everything I need to be the best doctor I can be. That means tools, equipment, facilities, and a medical staff of other doctors like me who also want to be the best. And it's a kind medical staff. When I had my injury, part of my community was the Methodist Hospital that reached out to me, and friends said, sure, come on back. And brave people that were my colleagues that sent me patients soon after my return to work and said, yeah, I still believe that your brain and hands work and you can still do it. So I was welcomed back to a hospital and to a medical staff where other places that may not have happened. So yeah, I've stayed here and it's been a really good 22 years.
So you're gonna give me a nice wide nose?
I'm gonna give you the best nose I can.
All right.
You know, we may end up narrowing this part right here
Right.
in order to get it to match up.
Yeah, that's
But
fine.
I think that once we put this cartilage graft in here and we elevate everything up, I think it's gonna pull, you know, that together.
Right, yeah.
All right, we'll get started. Deborah's a scrub tech that has scrubbed with me on 99% of my surgeries for the last 15 years.
We have been working together so long that we kind of know what each other, expect and what he needs and all this instrumentation and the setup, so it makes it flow a little bit easier.
You know, she would give me the instrument I needed, not the instrument I asked for. And together we think sort of with one mind in a way. It's repetition, it's familiarity, it's just a team. Hey Maria, can I have my facelift mix? Deborah, did you say nice things about me? Did you lie?
No, I kept it simple and honest.
Oh God. Every surgery is different, but every surgery sort of starts off the same way for me in that you pause and you sort of collect your thoughts. That last minute of going through the operation in your mind that you've gone through 100 times before. And then you go through the checks and balances to make sure that we have the right patient, the right operation, and all the right equipment. And once you get your mind right, the banter begins. Because the operating room is pretty stressful, that we tend to joke around and make it a pleasant place to be to relieve the tension, because deep down we're focused on the patient nothing's more important than the patient. And that's sort of how it all starts.
All agree.
So we're not... Do what? Oh, the first time he came to see me, I could not pass a scope through his nasopharynx. It was all, his palate was back against his posterior pharyngeal wall. You know, a lot of people like to come in my operating room. And I don't think it's because I'm this fantastic surgeon. I think it's because I've got this fantastic playlist, and it's everything from hip hop to country. And so I've had played music in the operating room since I was a resident, because one of the attendings I trained with had this huge boom box that he brought in the operating room. And you play music and it's just peaceful and it's calming, even if it's hip hop, even if it's rap, if it's just what you like, and it's what everybody in the room likes, so it just sort of makes everything pleasant as opposed to being quiet and tense. When we talk about adaptive equipment for a paralyzed surgeon in the operating room, really unique piece of equipment is this standing electric wheelchair. It allows me to stand to do my surgery. Yes, I could do it sitting down, but I'm much more comfortable and more mobile standing, and that's the way I did it for 20 years. So if I can facilitate me being comfortable and doing it the way I'm used to, that's what this equipment allows me to do. I'm perfectly sterile, I'm scrubbed in, have access to the patient, so it's just like it was when I stood. All right, I gotta take a break. Put that in the saline for me. What we've done so far is we've harvested a rib graft. We have carved it to restore the height of the nose. We've sculpted the cartilages of the lower tip of the nose. So we've got all the parts of the puzzle together. Now we've just got to fix them. So I'm going to use a titanium plate and screws to fix that cartilage graft to the bones of the skull. I just got to the point where I needed a break. You know, we've been working 3 hours, and so let's take a break and get a Coke and then go back and finish. So that's where we are so far. 2.0s, yeah. Okay, we're finally closing up. Look at how much we lengthened your nose.
Yeah.
I need to see you back in a month.
Thank you, sir.
Okay?
And no wearing glasses?
No
Do
glasses.
the flush every hour?
Yeah, do that for about a week, and then you can
about a
just
week?
back to
Okay.
normal.
All right.
But
And
let me
no
see you in a
blowing
month.
the nose? No,
No, you can blow your nose.
Oh, I can?
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
Yeah, because that putting that stuff up there, it runs in, comes out
Sure.
here. You know, it's weird.
sure. Okay?
All right, boss.
Thank you, dude.
Thank
See you in
you.
a month. I'm going to give you some Zithromax, which is the world of adaptive equipment for people with disabilities is an amazing world that until you are disabled, you never explore what's out there. The future for adaptive equipment is really changing. I mean, even now here at Methodist, we're doing research with an exoskeleton walking system called the Rex Bionics exoskeleton. And I just sort of fell into this through Dr. Robert Grossman, the chairman of the neurosurgery department, and a research physician at U of H named Pepe Contreras-Vidal. So Pepe is working on a way to control robots through a thought process using an external non-invasive EEG cap. So Dr. Grossman is looking at the physiologic benefits of an exoskeleton. Pepe's looking at a way to control it through your mind, Well, I'm the lab rat. I'm the guy that gets in that exoskeleton and walks it, controlling it with my mind and measuring my physiologic parameters to see the benefits. Rex is the first time I stood it up, and it was really sort of as if the sun rose and the light came on, and it's really wonderful. As I've gotten to walk in it more and more, the biggest barrier, the thing that I hate the most about being in a wheelchair, is looking up and talking to people. And so being able to look at someone eye to eye, that's an important part that's missing from my life. I mean, I don't miss much in life, but talking to somebody face to face is one thing I haven't been able to accomplish yet. Hopefully someday I'll be operating in a Rex Bionics exoskeleton and walking around the operating room. In reality, that probably won't happen, but it might. If we keep doing the research, we can advance it, and I'm not going to sit down forever. I'm not going to sit still. I can just keep moving forward, and this is a part of that. So Rex is really in its infancy. It's like a cell phone. It's in the bag phone stage. We want to make this into an iPhone. We want to make it that usable. But what we've got to do is we've got to prove the benefits of someone standing up and walking who's otherwise paralyzed. We've got to get this from the conceptual stage to the proof of product that it really is beneficial, as we know that it is. Once we prove that, there'll be more research funding, more development of exoskeletons, and then it will be available to people all over the world. All this adversity and this inspiration that I am, one of the things that everybody needs to know is that I said I haven't done it by myself, but I talked about community and those sorts of things, but I've also been seeing a counselor. I've been seeing a psychiatrist for 3 years. Doctors need doctors, and people need help when they're sad or when they're facing adversity. And so to be afraid to go see a psychiatrist or afraid to go see a grief counselor, to have someone to share with you what you're feeling and help you get out of that black hole that happens when adversity hits is silly. I mean, I'm not a superhuman. I need help. And if it weren't for my psychiatrist, I wouldn't be where I am today. He's really helped me find how to heal the personal me and help me find this new mission, perhaps, of helping other people get out of adversity and learn or overcome adversity. It's not just me. It's not that I'm different from anybody else. I just open myself up to the help that's available. Yeah, I'm still a plastic and reconstructive surgeon of the face, head, and neck. But maybe my new role is to share with people and show them how they can overcome what they're having to deal with. Because mine may seem huge, but mine's no bigger than what somebody else has to deal with. So maybe that's my new mission. We'll see.